I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just up it good. No, I'll just do it in front of her. She'll be right.
Going! He's kept going! He's scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net! And a superb goal! Charlie did it! Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson!
It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Oh, I hope you guys are into Notts County because there's going to be a lot of chat about the pies. Am I right? Yeah. Hello, yes, and welcome to SK3 TV 32. This time it's personal. Pies and shine, everyone. We're here to bake your day with an hour or so of top chat pertaining to Stockport County. Crusters on this. It's not to be missed. That's too many pie puns. You could say we've gone past the point of no return. Don't get all pirate about it though, and it'll all be fine. Yes, I'm your favourite four-eyed prick podcaster, and joining us tonight is the delicious filling in the podcast pie. Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the thought police. It's podcasting pioneer Hannah. Deep breath.
Thanks for the intro. It was
I told you that's what's going to happen. People didn't believe me when I said that was going to happen, but that happened.
Who didn't believe you?
I mean, that was more than I expected. So
I'm actually shaking. My hand's actually shaking.
It was quite an intro.
The adrenaline coursing through me. Jesus Christ. How are we, Hannah? All right.
I'm not bad, thanks. It feels like we said earlier on, I feel a bit giddy about tonight because there's lots of shenanigans to talk about, a really good result, and two more, maybe one considerably easier on paper than the other, but it's a good football week.
Yeah, got everything you could possibly ask, but we can't just chat about it on our own. And of course, the egg wash on our pie of county chat. It's Will. How are you, you smug prick?
I'm all right, smug as always. I'm surprised you didn't go for episode 31.4, to be honest with you, but it's fine.
I know, but
works.
That's going to come up, though. That's going to come up more later
It's already
on,
in the comments.
That. Oh, there we go. Sorted.
If it is, I'm really disappointed because I was quite proud of that, but I only came up with it after you said episode 32 because I didn't realise that we were on episode 32.
32.
I'm fine. Yeah, feeling smug as always after a great 3 points on Saturday.
Cheers.
Where Kylie Wooton had a blinder.
We've covered everything there.
He's got football pie all over his shirt.
Oh, how did I forget that?
Pie on his face. No, does that work?
That's a reference that Nick gets. Got football pie all over his shirt.
Do you know that shit knockdown? How was it described in here? I found it earlier on. It made me laugh, and I was like, right, we need to keep that.
This is the papers. I love it. I love it.
We get to the actual an excellent Wooton through ball.
See, I'm not sure I consider it a through ball, but I'll take it.
No, but it's not a knockdown. That's all we need.
It's certainly not a knockdown.
It was a great pickup of a loose ball with a lovely little turn and then a pass to tee up the genius from Wales, who is our new goal machine.
Aye.
It's cracking. Also, you mentioned about the pies, Notts County, everything else. Is that why we've got black and white names now?
No, I just liked it. I like the aesthetic.
I'm not complaining. I think it's
good. I'm still trying to find my voice with the graphics. I'm still trying to find the podcast voice with these little name things on there.
No,
it could change next week.
It's always evolving. It's great.
Anyway, that's enough chit chat. We should crack on. we should crack on because tonight's show, unlike the pies, is generously packed. So, oh, that's it. Done with the pie chat now. Apart from the 40-minute section that we've got earmarked for exactly that. But we'll be chatting Crawley. We'll be chatting Shrewsbury. We'll be chatting with returning guest Marshall Taylor about Leyton Orient because it went so well last time, Hannah. But first,
really nicely. So you know,
it'll be.
It's fine. It's fine.
Let's set about it better. Let's hope that we don't have a bearing on these things because I don't normally believe in that sort of thing. So let's hope we can turn it round. But first, let's have some admin. Talking of pies, we are, of course, brought to you in association with Blackbird Kitchen, now slinging out top scran in Gorilla on Whitworth Street in Manchester. Book through the Gorilla website before February the 16th to get an absolutely staggering and very generous 50% off your food bill. Admin, 1 out of 2, done. Admin, 2 out of 2. Hannah, what should the readers do?
Like and subscribe, guys. 2 thumbs up.
Such a smooth 6 minutes of podcasting, that was.
I know. That could be our submission to, I don't know, many of the not peer-reviewed podcasting competitions.
The Northwest Football Awards it is, then. Sorted. And it's not far to go. Excellent. Right. So we'll talk Crawley in a second. Are we doing Crawley, the match, and then a certain off the pitch incident? People stop messaging me, tweeting and posting on our reply on our posts to refer to it as Piegate. I've done this to death. It's not the gate suffix came from the Watergate scandal because the hotel was called the Watergate. So it wasn't Watergate Gate scandal. So think of another. You have to Pie Hard with a Vengeance. There we go. We've got a name for it. Anything but Piegate. Stop it. And now people will do it more. People will just do it because it annoys me.
You have now made that a thing.
I always do.
Pie Hard another day.
Pie Hard
Boom.
another day.
Pie Harder.
Pie Harder.
Oh, everyone's on fire today. Right, do you want football first or pies first?
Let's do pies because it fits with my, very orderly chronology of a match day.
Okay.
I am a pre-match pie eater.
Right.
My name's Hannah. And I'm a pre-match. And we'd got into the courtyard, so I knew that they were the different pies, and then the rumours started on the WhatsApp group that the pies in the ground were different.
The vicious rumours.
Right, I didn't believe it for a second. I mean,
why would you?
Who would mess with?
It would be quite literally insane to change the pies.
The alchemy of the Great North Pie, mash, gravy, and the incredible waterproof cardboard box, inexplicably waterproof. Life of Pie, that's an excellent one.
Boom.
Yeah. And Charlotte ordered a meat and potato pie, so we've got quite into meat and potato pies this season. They have been our pie of choice. And she was like, it's not right, Mum. And I looked at it and it looked like, honestly, the meat and potato pie of like a normal meat and potato pie, not a Great North Pie Company meat and potato pie. That's the difference. But it was kind of shallower, and she didn't she ate, I don't know, half of it. I'm trying to pass it out in the courtyard. Was anyone eat my daughter's half-eaten food? No takers.
Weird.
And I ended up eating it. And it was just like a bog standard pie. And then my dad had, we are creatures of habit. So many of my good and bad personality traits come from my dad. And he'd gone to get, I think he's in the pop side. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, he got a cheese and onion pie. I can't even, I'll have to go back to the message that he sent about the pie, just so that I don't misquote him.
But you don't want to misquote him on something as important as this. I mean, he's the co-op board member. He could lose that seat.
Oh God, don't! Oh no. Right. So he had cheese and onion with peas, gravy, and mash. This review hasn't been published anywhere else. This is brand new content for the podcast. you've got an
That's the
exclusive.
trailer sorted. Stretch it
Right.
out over 50 seconds and that's the trailer done.
Okay, so seemed inferior in taste. Tough pastry, but with gravy, not easy to analyse. I get that. It does have a softening tendency.
Yeah.
Need to try a naked pie tomorrow night, to be fair. That's because my mum will tell him he's not allowed a pie on a night game. So he'll have told her that he's got to get one for me to do a comparison.
With the suggestion of a naked pie, it seems like the sort of thing that should be on OnlyFans or OnlyFlans. Carry on.
Why change a winning formula unless you are looking to maximise profit?
Because they're looking to maximise profit.
Which seems to be the case. Now, because I have seen a lot of, we've won 2-0 and people are on about the pies. No, people are talking about both. It's possible to feel more than one thing. I mean, not me. I don't feel anything apart from existential dread on a secondary basis. But other people can feel more than one emotion at the same time. And I think people are understating it, saying, it's just pies. But this is at a time where the club do want to open up revenue streams and try and make as much money as they can. This is the type of thing that goes viral. You only have to look at the Footisgram account on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and how often it's been featured on there. And people do come for the pies and stay for the football. That should be. As you put that on the tickets,
that could be the thing. And and that's the thing. I do lots of opposition podcasts for previously with League Two, and I've done some this season. And they're like, "What do we need to know about Stockport County? The pies! Come and have the pies! They're so good!" And they message me afterwards and be like, "Yeah, that was the best pie I've ever had." And I feel quite an acute sense of loss.
And it's not just a new thing either, because Steve Bellis has joked a million times about when we used to get re-elected every year in the 70s, it was because we had the best pies in the league. So it's this club there's a part. I'm trying to think of the right word. If you cut this club open, it bleeds pie.
But not Ethan.
But not Ethan. Let's hope we're not let's hope we're not losing copious amounts of Ethan this month.
No. My dad used to tell me that and I assume it's kind of urban myth, but the biggest cheer of the night on a Friday night would be when they brought the pies out at half time, because it was a half time thing that you got your pie. Yeah.
As opposed to a nice time pie, which is something Nick should be aware of.
Oh, what, sorry?
A nice time pie.
Is this a fetish?
He's not getting a Taskmaster reference, and I'm ashamed.
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
can you not remember a nice time pie?
There's too much Taskmaster now. I can't remember it all. They've oversaturated it. It's killed me.
But fellow cooperative board member John Billsbury has pointed out there's an explanation about reheating times, and supposedly the new pies take half as long to reheat as the old pies. Now, if I was being bitchy about the new pies and protective of the old pies, which I am, I would argue that the difference is because the new pies are shallower in depth with less filling, and so take longer to heat up, and the old pies are much denser with their amount of filling, and
which means they take longer to
take longer to heat up. Yeah. And I get it. I know, as many away fans, in fairness, say to me, "Oh, I didn't get a pie because you'd run out by half time." That, they can manage demand a little bit better, perhaps, with a different option. But it feels like there might be a third option that can combine all the good stuff that we're used to with Great North pies, but maybe the overriding factor is that this particular pie can heat up quicker, maybe because it's got more moist, Nick.
Well, even if
moist in it.
Thank you. I've been waiting all day for you to say moist for the third time, and there it is. You do it well. I'm on camera. Brilliant. I mean, another option for me would be, because a lot of the complaints have come from the fact that this pie is quite clearly it's quite clearly an inferior pie, which is a sentence I never thought I'd be saying on a football podcast, to be honest. It's taken me 10 years, but there I am. But it's still priced at what people are calling premium pricing. So why not have Great North as the premium offering, and then have the other ones a bit cheaper. But it just seems we've gone from 8 days a week / Blackbird Kitchen, not biased at all. We've gone from them to Great North with a slight drop in quality for me, and then just further by the sounds of it. I must say I wasn't even there on Saturday. And when I am, I don't tend to.
You're one of those people.
I'm a Greg's guy. I'm just fielding. I listen to our audience. I've been out there. I've been working the channels all weekend, Hannah.
But it's a very there is. Yeah, I would have been happier. Like, this is going to sound ridiculous now. I'd be happy to pay 50p more to go back to the Great North Pie Company, even though I was happy paying whatever it was before.
I'll happily pay everyone's 50p.
No, don't say that. That's ridiculous. Because don't they sell like thousands of pies a game?
Well, we'll have a crowdfunder. Set up a Patreon.
Not 3.14 thousand we established.
And there it is.
Just quickly,
I've been doing. Sorry, go on, Hannah. Go.
No. I was going to say, Dan said all this pie malarkey, and I had to suffer with smoked salmon and confited duck.
Oh no!
Charlotte has been so dramatic about the state of her meat and potato pie on Saturday that Dan has welcomed us into the bosom of the 1883 tomorrow, so that she doesn't have to risk pie experimentation again.
Vital. So, she's at that impressionable age.
He's an actual hero.
What's to stop her roaming the streets with gourmet pies instead of coming to county? And then that's a supporter lost. All the youth these days are doing it. They're on the street corner with good pies.
So while Nick, you've been out sort of talking to the populace, Hannah.
I've been like Louis Theroux. Well,
you've been Louis Therouxing it up. Hannah, you've been out there on the front lines trying the pies for yourself. I've been reading the message boards, and there was one alternative.
I'm sorry.
I saw. It's fine. It was supposed to be funny, so I appreciate that you laughed. There was another string to this story, which is somebody on there said that they brought their friend to their first ever county game on Yellowboard, and he said it was the best pie he's ever had at a football game.
There's no accounting for taste.
To which the response then is, that just shows how bad pies are everywhere else, and if he'd been there a week earlier, it would have been an even better pie. And to probably butcher a quote from James, we could have wasn't even intentional. We could have dealt with being poor if we'd not seen so much riches.
Such riches.
With the old pies. It's
because what I thought
for those who experience those pies every week, there's a drop in quality. But for people who've only ever dealt with I haven't eaten food at a football ground. Well, I certainly haven't eaten food at Ashley Park for a very long time. I have had chips at Aldershot and a vegan sausage roll at Forest Green. That's about it for about 20 years now for me. Based on the quality of food that I had at Ashley Park about 20 years ago, there's a lot of room for improvement there. So I can imagine even these new pies are an improvement on even 5 years ago.
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah.
But still a step down in quality. And it's that thing you said, as you're fine with paying for quality when you've got quality. But if you're used to one product at one price and then an inferior product comes in at the same price, it's not a nice time pie.
No. David Schofield is correct. Harrogate's pies are incredible, elevated by their black sheep essence in the gravy. They are my actual favourite. I keep meaning to keep an eye out for their Friday night games, and I will just be going to as a pie tourist. What was I going to say then? No, can't remember. Oh, good things, because we're an optimistic, cheerful, positive podcast, apart from being pricks. I got with my Bovril, because I'm new to the Bovril world, in the pop side, and apparently the Cheadle End have had them for a while, a free cardboard sleeve to protect my fingerprints, which are pretty much burnt off after the last.
You've changed your identity now. You can go on the run now if needed. How many uses do you think you can get out of it?
Oh, they're definitely single usage. I've already
are they?
pitched like to the club shop that they should make like personalised, like Stockport County branded, because they'd be good generally.
Should we get on gelato and do some with our QR code on them?
Yeah.
And just give them out. Just stand next to the counter and just go, "There you go, sir."
Yeah. So that was good. That was a good thing.
Good. Well,
Oh.
I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the whole wider county nation when I say, well done, guys. 20 minutes of pie chat, and none of it got repetitive or boring. That was genuinely really, really good.
Right. But in the chronology of my Saturday match day, a lot of which the highlights were before the game, can we just... Oh, no, neither of you were there, so no one can have a comment. Right. I'll put it to the audience now, and you can kind of add your sentiments about the new gentleman comparing the
I hoped we'd get on
courtyard.
this.
I heard him as I left the ground, or at least I assumed.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
him, and
you
I wasn't
said.
a fan.
Yeah, it
Something
was...
about come and
a lot.
celebrate the 2-0 win, the amazing 2-0 win at the. Shut up!
Yeah,
Don't work.
there were
Got
dance
from the
competitions.
corner of the Cheadland and the pop side to Mersey Square in 13 minutes, and I'm actually quite proud of that.
Yeah.
Right.
I should get some of the. I should get the applause noise like Steve Wright used to have on Radio 2. The studio
Have you
applause.
have you got an El Gato little thing?
I'll get you one.
To invest in?
El Gato. That's what the Spanish call a cake.
Cat.
Cat.
I know.
Oh, Gatto. Oh, it was a joke.
I got the joke. I was just like, I got the joke, but it's just.
I did about 17 pie jokes at the start of the show, and then I do that, and you don't possibly think Nick could be doing a joke.
No.
You
But
don't joke.
I'm
You're a
attuned to
humorless,
pie jokes.
four-eyed, specky, smug person.
So I hear the reviews are in, baby. Hannah, tell me about the dance competition.
The first dance competition was to win a mug. It was very much aimed at the children.
There was more than one dance competition.
Oh, yes.
One's too many.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The second dance competition there was a heavy Foodie Friday influence. I think the guy who was on the microphone has something to do with Foodie Friday. And he was giving away £80, 80 English pounds of Foodie Friday food.
It's loaded fries and a hot chocolate. So
Yeah. So he, but no one entered the dance competition. So I'm there saying to Charlotte, look, just go and stand there and do some dad dancing and win us free food. She wouldn't. Leah McCoy wouldn't. So yeah. So no prizes were awarded. I could literally have gone and just, done a little bit.
Why didn't you then?
Oh, because I didn't want to look like a dick.
But you get your £80 of free food.
I know,
I'd happily
but
look like a dick for 5 seconds.
But I was also worried.
Carlton. I do a box step. I can do jazz hands.
Yeah.
I used to be able to waltz.
I could
in
tap
my
dance.
youngest
in
filter
fairness.
days.
But I did not want to. I thought maybe if I went and bobbed along, then someone else would come and try and outdo me because they wouldn't be the first one. Like,
oh yeah. It sets a dangerous precedent.
I know.
Well,
so I just went around.
Luckily, the day didn't peak there. Luckily, we got to see a comprehensive. Might not be the right word, because comprehensive to me is a 3 or 4-0 win, but it's as comprehensive a 2-0 win as you're likely to see. And I've seen a lot of whinging that we stepped off the gas in the second half. We're playing tomorrow night, and Crawley could still have been playing now, and they wouldn't have scored. I could have gone in goal and would have won.
That's exactly what Dave Challoner regaled to the Football League paper. That he was kind of frustrated that we wanted to kick on and get that third goal. And I think that would have potentially changed how the game pans out. We then became a little bit sloppy. And I thought we could have made better decisions. So you can imagine them getting a proper bollocking if they'd have let Crawley back into the game. I mean, Crawley were terrible.
Dave Schofield says he was actually getting angry at how shit they were, and I felt the same watching the stream. I know there's always been a bit of a well, from myself included, I've got this snobbery towards the likes of Fleetwood and Crawley and Stevenage and Salford, you know, who don't really have the fan base or the history to support a football league club. They get to League One, and you think, you know, fair enough, fair play. But they were genuinely abysmal. I've never seen anything like. I mean, we've seen some shite at Edgley Park, normally in a blue shirt. Over
Do you want to hear a funny stat though? Ben Hinchliffe was rated 6 out of 10. I don't think he moved. How on earth?
No.
How on earth did I rated him 6 out of 10?
I did hear him shouting quite a few times when there was lulls in chanting. There was one moment in particular that stuck in my head when they had a free kick and they had a spare man over on the left, and it was Macca's man, and I could just hear from my seat at the back of Yellow Block, I could just hear Macca, Macca, Macca. And it was just like, oh, that's Ben. And then I joined in and he looked, and I'm like, am I louder? Probably not, but I'm pretty loud.
Yeah, you were whispering and you were louder. Yeah, definitely.
It was,
The first goal, I mean, prior to the first goal, Kylie Wooten had a very good chance that was well saved by the keeper. I've seen talk of it being described, well, it's been described as a sitter, but by people who aren't allowed to wear socks, because that's most definitely not a sitter. So you think from there, it's a case of wanting to.
Oh.
But yeah, well, I got that feeling early on, thinking, oh God, is it going to be one of those days? You know, when you're having a clear cut chance like that, and then didn't take long before William Guy chipped in, did what he does best, where he just ghosts in. And
is it ghosting in if it's not at the far post?
Yes, I think it is ghosting in. I think if your run starts outside the box and you run in, I think it's ghosting.
Okay. May have to disagree with you there, but it's okay because having different opinions is acceptable.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And you don't
thank
need
you
to
for
go.
the chorus of agreement there.
You don't need to go and be a dick about it. You certainly don't need to go and tell people you'll knock them out just for having a different opinion to you, because that is weird.
Yeah, I do think Kyle could be chipping in with a couple more goals at the moment. He had a really good run of goal scoring form at the start of the season, and I was like, oh, this is fun, like this. I think he probably could have done better with a couple of his chances on Saturday, but he still had a great game. He's still up there as one of my players of the season. And as long as we're scoring goals and winning games, I don't care if it's Ben getting the goals. This idea that, oh, he's a centre forward who needs to score. We've won a game 2-0 and it's an attacking midfielder and a right wing back that have scored the goals. Great. Who cares which position on the pitch the goal scorers are playing in, as long as we're scoring goals and winning games.
He's nailed on to score tomorrow, though. So
I have put him as my poacher point on Fan Hub.
Yeah, he's played against Shrewsbury 4 times and he's scored in 3 of those meetings. So it's going to happen. But weirdly, Shrewsbury are really good in midweek games. Like they're before, like general. I mean, they've not had a great start to the season, but have picked up considerably. Certainly over about the last 6 games, but yeah, they're 3 of their wins have come from midweek games.
Well, for the second week in a row, we thought Macaulay Southern-Hales had the ball in the back of the net, and this time he did. And now I am going to put something to you, because I tweeted this at the time, but it got lost in my my tweet about Imagine not rating Kyle Wotton. Because that got a ridiculous number of views. It meant something like 8,000 or something. But now I probably should have got Ben on for this, because this is very much his type of thing. How good aesthetically did it look when the way that the ball hit the net? It kind of like hit the inside and like bounced up. Oh, that's the type of thing. That's the type of thing I'm here for.
You say that like I'm not.
No, I know, but it's just the type of thing where Ben will go on about it for like 45 minutes or something. Okay, do you want to?
Get him in next week then.
I might do. I will do with an attitude like that.
Yeah, it was great. I think both goals had some really nice aesthetics to them. You know, Wells sort of going down, bouncing through the keeper almost, and then into the roof of the net, and then Macca's just drilled into the side netting and spinning up in the air. It was great.
Maybe that can be something people can get in touch with. They can tell us the most aesthetically pleasing ways that the ball has hit the net in county history. That would be good. Yeah. We've got a guest, haven't we, Hannah, though?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to be obvious, but that Louis Barry, was it against Cambridge, where it sailed over?
Oh, yeah.
Like, the angle couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, we've got Marshall. Marshall from the most informed team in League One, Leyton Orient.
What we'll do, it'd probably be rude not to get him out then, because it definitely didn't jinx us last time. So it definitely won't jinx us now. Let's do it. And then afterwards, we will talk Shrewsbury later on and stuff.
All right.
Evening.
Hi.
Hello again. Nice to see you again.
I wasn't here last time you were on, so...
Can I just start off with, obviously from Leyton Orient, home of the best pie now in League One, I've heard we've just got that crown after...
Too soon.
We're coming for it again. Give it a couple of weeks, we'll be coming for it again.
Well, on Saturday, hopefully Hannah can try one and she can feed back, but I believe we've got the best pies now in League One, as well as the best form.
Yeah, and the green sauce. I'm excited.
And the pasta sauce, yes, exactly.
Is that what they call liquor?
Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
I've heard about that. Yeah, I've had pie and mash. Yeah.
We haven't had Orient pie and mash, have you? Properly.
No.
Pie and mash. There you go. Well, Hannah will report back, but I can confidently say I think we now are top of the table in regard to pies. So thank you.
Well, I think we've got some content for our TikToks on Saturday there. That's sorted. So, Marshall, the best form in League One. Tell us about it.
Well, I think when we spoke earlier in the season, we had a really difficult first 5-6 games of the season. You know, I think our opening game, we had Birmingham City, we had pretty much the Charlton, we had 5 one of the hardest games. And I think I said to you guys, we'd just beaten Reading the week before, and that was our first points on the table, I think. And I actually said that if you look at the performances, we were actually playing really well. It was fine margins and that we were missing out on. And I think that, then we started to get into a bit of confidence and rhythm, and our form has been fantastic. In the last 15 hours of League One football, we've only conceded 2 goals in 15 hours. It's pretty, from a defensive point of view, we're really tight. And we're scoring goals. So, I was always confident, even after those first 6 or 7 games. I honestly didn't, and I joked to say there'd be plenty of goals when we played you at the start of the season. I didn't think for the hell of it we would be 4-1. And I think the scoreline flattered us a little bit. But we've been, confidence is high, form's great, and we're really solid at the back.
Do you know who Leyton Orient have signed on loan recently, Nick?
Oh, go on. I bet you're going to tell me.
Mark Anthony. So we had a whole thing, Marshall, because he'd been linked with us. And so Dylan Markandale, we were like, right, let's go. There was a whole Cleopatra thing going on.
Oh, we were ready, weren't we?
We were so ready.
All this excellent work that has now just had to be binned.
Yeah,
he scored on his home debut for us and played really well on Saturday. So, and we've had good feedback from him. Our recruitment team were obviously following him for some time, so it was good that we were able to get him in the door. But our confidence is really high. I think it's going to be a cracking game on Saturday. I think it's starting to get really tight now. I think there's probably 8 teams in it for the last 2 playoff places, I'd say. I think with the acquisitions kind of Huddersfield have made, I think they're pretty much, I think it's between Huddersfield, Wrexham, and Birmingham to obviously go up in the automatics. I think Wickham may fall off a little bit, but I think the 8 teams from about Mansfield up are all in the hunt for it, and I think it's going to be an exciting kind of February, March, and April for all of us.
What would you say the aim is at Orient then? Is the aim to get in the playoffs? Do you feel almost a desperate? Because obviously we've had it where we've needed to get out of the National League and League Two, and it's been vital that we do. But I think a lot of us are more calm about it now. Is that the case there?
Yeah, look, our aim was always top 10. You're looking at our budgets, and I think we talked about that last time. We've got a kind of mid-table budget for us. Richie kind of always breaks down League One into 3 divisions effectively. There's the top 8 teams, a middle 8, and a bottom 8, and we always kind of see ourselves at that kind of. We want to be at that kind of top end of that second bunch, bottom end of that first. I think there's now 5 or 6 teams in our division that are spending big money. I think Huddersfield, there's reports of 4 million on 2 acquisitions. Birmingham just can't stop signing players, and I think Wrexham have obviously been spending money, and as well as other teams, and it's becoming much more harder for teams of our size. We're a similar size to Stockport. Your fan base is maybe slightly more from an average gate, but it's really hard for us to compete unless you've got 12, 13, 14, 15,000 coming through the gate every week. And so for us, our aim from a board was trying to be in that kind of top 10, and if we can sneak into the playoffs, it's a complete lottery. Once you're in the playoffs, you have to look at Crawley last year. I think any team can go up from that. So that's always been the objective. But top 10, finished 11th last year. We wanted to build on that.
In terms of, is there much more business to go in the transfer window? So you've got, Markanday, Kelman. It's Josh Donnelly been with you since the beginning of the year, or is he in your?
He has, yeah. He's been with us since the beginning of the year. To be honest, we've actually at our best 4 attacking players have been out all season, pretty much. Wow. So we've lost our 2, I'd say, best kind of wingers have been out all season, we've had some real injury problems. So we're still looking for at least another 1. Possibly 2 to bring in for the transfer window. So, and that's, to help really. Another centre forward would be great. We're still working on a few deals.
Do you think the change of goalkeeper has had a big impact on your upturn in form? Because I remember when you came to our place, I'd heard from other Orient fans that there wasn't a great deal of faith in him from the fan base. The manager was talking a big game about supporting him, but I remember being disappointed we didn't try and test him more, given his reputation. And I know he's not with you anymore, is he?
He's at St Mirren now in the Scottish Premier League. To be honest, I think we had a real tough 5 or 6 first opening games. He did make 1 or 2 mistakes, and I think confidence, and football is all about, we talk a lot about signing players, budgets, and so on. I think Richie, we don't have the biggest budget. We didn't have the biggest budget in League Two. The difference that a manager can instill in a group of players from a confidence point of view is tremendous. And I think he got fans on his back quite quickly, and I think it was difficult to come back from that. And I felt for him because he's a lovely lad. And even when he wasn't playing, he was still, really one of the team, and behind the scenes was fantastic in the changing room. I think he's done okay since he's been at St Mirren. I think they had a clean sheet at the weekend, which will be give his confidence good. He's at Middlesbrough. I think he'll be a great keeper. I think he's needs a bit of time to bed in, but I think he got some unfair criticism. I think after a few mistakes that he'd made. But again, we played some of the harder sides in those first 5 games. It was tricky.
Yeah. And we
I think
don't
that's
have
it's even worse for a goalkeeper as well. And I mean, it's hard enough receiving criticism and having the fans on your back, but because goalkeepers are, I mean, forgive me for the expression, but they're weird guys anyway. Every time I've done interviews with footballers and stuff, they've always said, "Oh, goalkeepers are weird, man," because they're very solitary. They're in their little group for training. Or they'll get involved with training with the rest of the team towards the end of the session, and then for long periods of the game, they're just stood there, just possibly receiving abuse. It must be horrible.
Especially when it's a young goalkeeper, you know, and they're on social media, you know, that you know, I think when it's someone a bit more experienced, but when it's someone who's going out for their first or second loan, they're still young, still learning the trade. And to be honest, you know, Donnelly's been fantastic for us. You know, all of our loan players have been tremendous, but they all started slowly, and again, that's because they're all young. Some of them is their first or second time out from their parent club, and it takes a bit of time. And you know, they've all shone through, but quite easily it could have gone the other way. You know, when they see what's read on social media, what's written about them, getting booed after 2 or 3 games, the results not going their way. It's difficult for these younger players that come into it.
Last time, Marshall, you asked us who was the one to watch, and we universally said Louis Barry. We no longer have Louis Barry. I don't know that it's been announced yet, but he's strongly linked with Hull.
People have behaved entirely normally about it and everything and stuff.
Yeah, because he was never our player, right? But it's been like a bereavement, and then people are upset that he's going to a championship club on loan, which is also entirely normal behaviour.
Never fall in love with a loan player or a pie supplier is what we've learned this season.
Those are the two things to learn. We learn nothing else as long as we've learned that.
Yeah,
it's been a success.
But who's the one to watch for you this time?
From our side,
yeah.
Well, I think to be honest, I think Donnelly has been, from a point of view of being able to pick a pass. He's had a couple of first team appearances for Tottenham, been in the squad. He's young, but you can see the talent there, and I think he's going to be a real. When we signed him on loan for the season, there's a lot of Tottenham fans saying you've got a player there, and again, he started slowly, but he's been, fantastic, and you can see that. So I would say, from a point of view of really being able to change the game on the spin of a coin, it's him. He's great moving forward. So I'd say from an attacking point of view, he's the man to watch, and he's the one who can unpick a defence.
Got to be careful. Spurs might be 2 or 3 injuries away from recalling him before the end of January. The way they're going,
we've got no recall, so we're okay. So we've got a really good relationship with Tottenham. They're obviously not too far from us.
Yeah.
So Josh Keeley, who's the goalkeeper on loan as well with us, they're both for the whole season. Tottenham are really happy with how we've developed those. And we've got a history with Tottenham. We were Harry Kane's first loan club back in the day. We've had lots of, as Andros Townsend, and plenty of Tottenham players, historically. So no, we've got Donnelly for the season.
If only we had that relationship with United or City, because we have very bad form when it comes to United or City loanees, I think, over the years.
I'm fine with us not having you. I'd rather.
I'm completely fine. Yeah.
I'm quite happy with the relationship that we're building up with Villa, and long may it continue. They've got some good young players.
We've done very well, Lou Barry. He was a real talent, wasn't he? He was, immense for you in League 2 and 1. So yeah, you did really well out of that. They say never fall in love with a lone player, don't they?
Yeah. Too late. I told myself that, but it happened anyway.
I think we both suited each other, because he struggled at this level with other clubs. He didn't tear up any trees with Salford the year before he came to us. It was just, we suited each other, but he's gone now, and we're over it. We've got a lad from Middlesbrough.
We're not though, are we? I mean, we are collectively, but as a fan base, we're definitely not over it.
Sure. We're totally over it. I think we're going to be stronger in the long term for losing him sooner.
And
it sucks, because he was an exciting player, and had that sort of X factor.
We've talked about how the club has aspirations for playoffs and higher this season. The Supercube computer was updated today. third. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to go up. But what I would say is that, we always treat this as the pre-season for next season. So having players that aren't going to stick around doesn't do you any favours in the long run if you're kind of working on a long-term, bigger picture. It's all good.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that's the case. How come Tottenham? Because Leyton to Tottenham, East London, I mean, but on public transport, it's not a great route.
We're apart from West Ham's our closest now because they've moved.
I know. I lived just outside London. I worked at the Olympics. I know Leyton very well.
Yeah, but our training ground is actually in Chigwell, and it used to be right next door to Tottenham's very old training ground, literally a stone's throw. 10 years ago, and their new training ground isn't too far. So from a point of view of actual, stadiums might be a little bit further away, but training grounds we're pretty close in that sense. So
that's the answer. That's the answer to the question. That makes complete sense.
Yeah. Right, Marshall.
It's important for us. So we're surrounded by obviously Premier League clubs. We're trying to build those, rapport with them. And we do have a good relationship with all of them pretty much. And I think that really helps us, especially right now.
Even West Ham with them moving basically next door.
Do you know what? It's got a lot better. It's probably not as good as as some of the others, but they're in a situation now where because of Brexit, it's harder to get foreign young talent into the academy. They have to develop English players, and in order for that, they want to get those English players out playing in the league, and they're really keen to get that moving. And obviously now an English player is worth a lot more money than they were previously because they can't get so much cheaper foreign younger talent in through the door. So it's vital for them. So we're making some good progress on the loans.
Excellent. Right, well, what we'll do, we will let you go, Marshall, and relay everything you've heard tonight back to Richie, as I'm sure you did last time, and it all paid off. But yes, we wish you all the best for the rest of the season. And let's be honest, we'll probably meet you in the playoffs, and we'll be having you on twice. So
it depends on the outcome on Saturday, because if it goes the same way as it did the first half of the season, that won't be happening.
Well, I was going to ask us what's our score prediction. I'm going to say it's going to be super tight and it's going to be a 1-0 to Orient, but that's my score prediction.
We've got a pretty good record at Brisbane Road.
I'm going 2 each anyway. I think for all the talk of not conceding many goals, let's go mental.
Last time we played there, I think I bet against us. Because for no reason other than the way that they'd finished, and it was that week where they'd all been on the beach since midweek. I don't know. I think it'll be closer than it was. I think there'll be a sense of pride and a not wanting to have the pants pulled down again. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, I think. And that's incredibly optimistic for me, Marshall. Incredibly optimistic.
It is that, yeah. I was going to come round and take your temperature in a minute. Jesus.
Well, I'll see you on Saturday. So thank you for having me. And if Orient win again, I'm coming on this next season.
We'll talk about
see. It. Yeah, we'll have some high-level meetings. Cheers so much, Marshall.
Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I was just about to say we'll have him on every week quite happily, but let's wait until 5 o'clock on Saturday before I make such a big statement. Yeah. Well, we touched nicely on the transfer window there, and obviously since we were last live, we have seen the signing of Hamilton from Middlesbrough, a player who we were in for last summer. He's gone to Middlesbrough for good money. I know there seems to be a lot of people comparing him to Fiorini, who was also signed from City for a fee, but City have retained a buyback clause with Hamilton, whereas they haven't with Fiorini, which would say a lot. And I think one point of view I've seen disturbingly often is, well, he's not getting in the Middlesbrough team, so why is he going to be good enough for us? It's like, because Middlesbrough are challenging for promotion to the Premier League. That'll be why. God almighty.
I think, and we saw this on Saturday, he's a very technical player. He's one of those players who does not want to lose possession at any cost. And you saw kind of some of the ball control and skills across the front, which was very Louis Barry coded. And I think I said this last week, that he can play on either side, right-footed, similar background in terms of come up through his boyhood club. Played in the Champions League once. I think he scored as well. Like,
he scored
really
against Red Star,
weirdly, like parallels. And Middlesbrough play a similar style of football to us as well, and that's why Louis Barry would have been a great kind of one in, one out type thing. But I liked him. I thought he fitted in very quickly. You sometimes see loanees on their debut just looking a little bit lost, and it being very apparent that they've probably only had 2 or 3 training sessions with the club.
It's almost a shame that we not got him in a few weeks earlier, because if he did, I think he'd be straight in for the revive. But he's come in with us looking settled and in good form, and he's going to have to bide his time. But I think this is the issue with a lot of loan deals. Clubs do want assurances that a player's going to play. Whereas we've got a lot of emphasis on rotation. With the style of football China wants us playing, so you need to be able to rotate. So players will get a chance. It's just about, as he said in his interviews a million times, like, these players are knocking on my door asking for a chance. I've given it them, and so
I think, like, Ethan Wheatley was linked with us earlier in the window, and I think that's the difference. He's gone to Walsall. Obviously, they lost Nathan Lowe, who was picked on at Stoke and done incredibly well. Great for him. They've got Ethan Wheatley, who they lost to Bradford on Saturday.
They did. Anthony Sarcevic with two assists and a goal. Superb. The promotion machine.
It's their first loss in like 14 or 15 games. So a big change. But Ethan Wheatley did okay. But my suspicion is that we weren't able to make that commitment in terms of game time. No. And the difference with Micah Hamilton is, like he said in the interview that the club published on Friday, he is desperate to play. And it must be awful, mustn't it, to be like to go to a new club and to be, and this is my concern for Louis Barry a little bit, in a very kind of maternal, in his best interest way, that he will get the playing opportunities, the starting opportunities. He'll be able to showcase what he can do, because you can't do that sat on the bench. And hopefully Hamilton will make enough of an impact, because presumably he will start from the bench again on Saturday, knowing Charlie's kind of likes to keep the same team.
I mean on that as well, the whole being settled side of it and all that. Hamilton is from Manchester. He came through the academy at City, and then moving away from home. It'll be the first time he's lived on his own, because he's at such a young age. So coming back close to Manchester for a while can only help him in that respect as well, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd imagine so, wouldn't you? And he's City through and through. Not that is.
I'm not going to hold that against him,
Hannah. But that's like he grew up in playing, living the dream. And he's only been at Middlesbrough for 6 months. And did it 3 million or something he went for? I mean, he was valued really highly. I think he's obviously a good signing, a good fit for our playing style, and should do really well. Yeah. She says, keeping everything crossed.
Yeah, I'll clip that bit up, and I'll drop it every week.
Yeah.
When
he's injured.
Well, that brings us on very nicely to, on the face of it, looking at these two home fixtures, looking at it last week, on the face of it, on paper, you think, oh well, two straightforward wins there. But tomorrow night is the one that I'm approaching with a bit more trepidation, because Gareth Ainsworth has got them playing. I mean, have they beaten? They've beaten Birmingham.
Birmingham and
Wrexham,
and they were both at home.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously they're coming to us.
And on Saturday, they lost 1-0 to Charlton, but it was a 90th minute goal from Charlton. So they held them. They're not.
Their days of getting turned over are done. Like, I mean, I think I said this on here when Ainsworth got appointed, that if players buy into what he's doing, then they'll do well. So I think they'll pull away from that. But I've just got a feeling tomorrow's going to be one of them where I think we need to keep on getting behind the players, because it's not all going to go our way. They're going to turn up to frustrate us. I mean, a draw, they'll be absolutely delighted with a draw. They're going to turn up to frustrate us, and it might not go all our way. It might be a case of having to wait for the breakthrough, but it's just it's just, when you hear the crowd getting frustrated, you just think, oh God, oh no, that transmits onto the pitch, and then we've spoken about it on Twitter, Hannah, about people shouting for players to get it forward, and then when we inevitably lose the ball, there's moans and groans, and it's just, if I was a player and I did that, I'd just pick up the ball and go, right, what do you want me to do?
I'm
score a goal.
Oliver Norwood.
Run faster. Be
I
better.
know where the goal is. That's the forward thing is a personal kind of gripe of mine, and I recognise that I might have caused offence to someone, and I've apologised profusely. And the fact that I'm not in my seat tomorrow has nothing to do with the fact that I've really upset someone, and it has.
You want me to go and sit in your seat and just make it really
please.
awkward?
I was going to bring him presents, like to make up for my awfulness. But I was trying to explain it. I was like, my kind of incredibly neurodivergent brain doesn't cope well with noise from behind me, and I've said this, and I've recognized that it's 100% a me problem. You know, like I took noise cancelling AirPods to put in on Saturday because I recognized that I was getting agitated by it, and I just forgot to put them in because ADHD.
Do you make eye contact when you put them in? Do you turn around and just make eye contact and go,
I'm going to be like, well, no, because like we had a conversation then about because he's really upset that that he's kind of impacted my football watching experience. I'm like, no, I'm in the minority. The majority of the people that sit behind me are screaming like forward and, you know, don't pass it backwards and all of that. So I recognize that I'm in the minority of people that get wound up about it. So I'm very much like, I'll sort myself out. You just continue doing you, and I'll be really disappointed and upset.
That's what every woman who I've ever fallen in love with has told me. I'll sort myself out. You just keep doing you.
What going back to Gareth Ainsworth is what I would say about him. So he's talking about the Charlton defeat at the weekend and saying that the team did everything that he asked them to do, and it was basically like the last free kick of the game that they scored from, and you know, it was just one of those things. But he said that, you know, he will he'll put, well, I can't remember what the phrase was, it's heartbreaking, but I'm not down, I will pick these boys up. And that has echoes of Steve Cotterill at Forest Green Rovers last season. And that's what worries me for Shrewsbury. They are back down, I think, rock bottom of the league, she says. Checked notes. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
But in terms of form in the last 6 games, they've got the same number of points as us. So they are definitely kind of on an upwards turn. But like Burton smashed someone, Rotherham, on Saturday.
Yes.
So there's odd results starting to emerge, and that
it's the time of the year now where we do start getting results, because clubs have brought new managers in, just made some signings in the window, and things start to turn around a bit. They'll get underestimated by bigger sides, and it's gonna get a bit silly here on in, I think.
Yeah, but they're exactly the same as us. 1-2, drew 2, lost 2. 8 goals for us, 4. They've only scored 5. But they've gone 1 win, draw, loss, win, loss. And by contrast, we've got 2 wins in a row, although that is the first time. No, ignore me.
First time
Okay.
since the last time.
First time since the last time that
First
we won
time.
2 in a row.
Since last-
But Shrewsbury Town have only failed to score in one of their last 15 league games against us and have scored 29 goals across 15 league games. And we've only won one of our last 7. So we've drawn 1, lost 5, but that was at the beginning of the season. So obviously there's,
Was it Gareth Ainsworth who once absolutely destroyed us as a player? Scored a hat-trick
No, Lionel
in
Ainsworth,
Toronto.
that was. Yeah.
Lionel Ainsworth. I knew it was an Ainsworth.
I will get on to Chris Eaton and Ben Walker for that. I'm sure they'll be able to provide some insight on that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chris Eaton, before we wrap up, 'cause we've got a little bit more chat about the aesthetically pleasing ways in which the ball has hit the net. We've had a few good ones in that I've. Oh God! Yes, we've got that, and we of course have got a random county non-league goal of the week, courtesy of Chris Eaton.
Stoppage time, 3 apiece. Marsden's free kick, it's come out to Stockport on the volley. What a goal for Gary Stockport! That is a fantastic strike. What a celebration as well. County are back in front at 4-3. They've got to hold on this time. There's 1 or 2 fans on the pitch as well. But what a goal from Gary Stockport. He hit that brilliantly. Alphas and hearts are broken, but Gary Stockport, having come off the bench, has hit a brilliant strike into the far corner to make it 4-3 in injury time.
There we go, the opening day of 2016-17 under Jim Gannon.
The butterfly goal.
The butterfly goal, the interview
butterfly
from
goal.
which features at the top of this show in the opening titles. Another thing that I've never really picked up on from that clip is the fact he does about 7 celebrations in one.
And then launches himself onto Mike Flynn because of the butterfly. High five
Yes.
of Jim, launched onto Mike Flynn.
Yeah, love
Great
it.
moment.
Bit much there's fans on the pitch. Opening day, lads.
The arms doing this was my favourite bit.
Yeah. So it's like on FIFA where you just continually spam the
Mash all the
celebration button, and it just does all different ones. It's like that. In terms of aesthetically pleasing goals, then we have got some comments. Phil Lloyd, very good shout. Sarsi's penalty versus he's clarified that he means Salford and not Swindon, in off the underside of the bar. Dave Schofield agrees, always in off the underside of the bar. See, that's in that sense for me, Tony Yeboah represented a real sexual awakening for me, because that's when I realised that I was also into the ball going in off the underside of the bar. Yeboahphilia, I think we should call it. That's going in the episode title. Oh, another great shout from Ian Dowden, actually, that'd be up there. Madden's penalty against Bolton, where the ball rolled. The ball rolls up off the back of the net, and the keeper goes to pour it away and catch it. Oh, what a moment!
The Ash Palmer goal from the same game. You know, everything about that goal is aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. From the timing of the IO County champ finishing to the sound of it off the head. And then the ripple effect in the net. That goal has it all. That is also why it's in our titles.
Especially the version with no commentary, where you just hear the thump and the ripple and the roar. Oh God, this is like sexy ASMR. Isn't all ASMR sexy?
I'm feeling.
No.
I don't like ASMR to be. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I've tried listening to it. It's just people with bad microphone technique. That's the issue there.
Yes, it
is. If Macca's strike against Birmingham had gone in the other way off the post, I think that could have ended up being one as well.
Yeah.
I think into the post and then into the opposite side netting is what that would have done. And that would have been, one side of the goal to the other.
As Dave Schofield has clarified, it can't bounce back out though. It has to bounce back up into the roof of the net when it's an underside of R1. That's a very important distinction.
Bar, line, net.
Yeah.
Glorious.
That's a bit of me, He's not the only one saying that. Right. Do we have anything more to say about football?
I have one more pirate.
Go on. What is it? Oh, very good, very good. Well done,
Oh,
everyone.
pirate!
It's a pirate.
Oh!
It's a pirate. It won't focus, but there we go.
If it ever gets to the point where we have to do an organised protest against the pies, that's what we should dress up as.
Pirates.
Yeah.
We should discuss how much it would cost to do reggae pies, and then it would be the Pirates of the Caribbean. I thank you, everybody.
Very good.
Thank you.
See if I can manually focus my camera.
Good a place to wrap it up as anything. Well,
Just
anyway,
ignore me. Just
we do.
pretend I'm
alright.
not doing anything. There we go.
There we
There
go.
we
There you
go.
Little ginger pirate.
With his little gun and his little hook.
Oh, he's probably got syphilis, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's got a good pie, so.
He's got a good pie. Maybe that was how he got the syphilis. You
Got a good
just
pie
don't
as well.
know in those days. Right,
that
Hannah,
one.
say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. I
Will-
look forward
oh,
to
go on.
seeing
Carry
you.
on.
It's just like I felt a bit perfunctory, so I was gonna
Don't
you
come
know.
and see Hannah in the courtyard tomorrow because she won't be there. She'll be with the oi polloi.
Oh yeah, I
Can
will.
we get the courtyard at all?
No, well maybe.
Break
No,
my
probably
heart.
not. We've got to be
I
there.
might lower myself.
Got to be there at like 5:30. I've bought a new coat. I don't think it's going to come in time for tomorrow, but I think it'll come.
I
in
also
time
bought a
for
new
Saturday.
coat last week.
I was
I went
so
to
cold that I'm
Shush.
yeah. And if anyone's getting the train, I'm going on the train to Leyton Orient on
Christmas, aren't you?
Saturday. So if anyone else is going on the train, let me know because we might be on the same one. I don't know what time it is. Otherwise, I'd like provide more information. But I'm very excited about this because I've never gone on the train to football before.
Well, whatever time
Really?
it says it's meant to be at, it won't be at that time. You can guarantee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get an early train.
It was free
Thatcher.
because because I go on Avanti so much. Yeah.
I've used the reverse journey to go from London to Edgeley Park for games. So you know, you're doing the reverse of what I used to do. Only that back then it was Virgin and it worked.
Yeah, but Avanti, I got like 30 quid back from my train tickets last week. So it's like free money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway,
cheers to
sorry,
both,
Nick.
anyway. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'll happily stay here all night. Cheers to you two. Cheers to
Bye,
Marshall for
everyone.
joining us earlier. Cheers for the 160 or so who've been tuning in across the YouTubes and the Twitters, not the X's.
Here's
That's
to
been very much
episode
appreciated.
31.4.
Cheers for everyone who's
Cheers,
got
thank you.
involved in episode
Cheers, thank you.
31.4. We will see you same time, same place next week.
And it'll be transfer deadline day.
Woo!
Oh Christ, it will, won't it? That's going to be an all-night
it?
show.
No. What we're going to do, so we're doing Lower League Look and we're bringing in different podcasts so we can just do that. So
Okay.
Lower
Okay.
League, League One as well. It's fine. We can just,
Good.
all sit in the same space. It'll be good.
Are we still doing this though as well? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've
Oh,
told
We'll
yeah,
my
still be
counterparts
doing this
on that.
episode.
yeah. We'll still be saying goodbye on this one. Oh, right. Bye, everyone. Here's to 6 lovely points between now and next week. Bye.
Bye.